Welcome back, viewers. We've been speaking with CSP Abayomi Shogunle, who is Nigeria Police Assistant Force Public Relations Officer. And we lost him and he's back now. So you're welcome back, CSP. Hello?
Hello?
Yes. So,
okay.
So my question to you before we lost contact was if the IG of police is willing to declare his assets as an example of someone who really wants to fight corruption, so that we start with him.
As a matter of fact, there is a process with the which involves the Code of Conduct Bureau, and necessary actions are being taken as regards that with the Code of Conduct Bureau. And it's not only the IGP that declares his assets, up to all gazetted officers, and the provisions are there, and the Nigerian Police Force. We've always been following the provisions of the Code of Conduct.
No, I completely understand that. We have an interesting relationship with the Code of Conduct Bureau, but that's a secret declaration of assets. The public doesn't get to see this asset that you declare at the Code of Conduct Bureau. Nobody knows what it is. But we're saying, like, to provide example and exemplary leadership, will he publicly, without going to the Code of Conduct, would he say, well, this is what I submitted at the Code of Conduct? And so that people can publish it, because General Buhari, who is going to be president in a few days, has said he will declare his asset, and members of his regime, are supposed to declare their asset. Is the IGP of police willing to declare his asset and force major top officers of the Nigeria Police Force to do the same, so that the public can start to have confidence? Yes.
Absolutely, if that is what Nigerians want, we are going to do that. Fantastic.
We'll definitely hold you on to that. So you contacted us, and we appreciate this when we uploaded the video about the extortion that took place of myself and our crew in Nigeria in January. And we've since provided updates to you via a story we did that this thing happened. Have you been able to apprehend the officers that were caught extorting money on tape?
First of all, let me thank you and your crew for bringing that video to public light. And as we speak, the police officers who were in that video, they have all been identified, and they are in detention. And as a matter of fact, the Commissioner of Police in Ogun State is bringing them to Abuja Monday morning.
Okay, so are you going to let us have their names and the details of these officers, so that we can also follow up and publish them to the public?
Absolutely. When at the appropriate time, we're going to do that. There is nothing to hide here.
Are you going to retrieve my money and give it back to me from them?
That's part of the reasons why they are bringing them to Abuja, because we're kind of not satisfied with the actions taken in Ogun State as regards the matter. Okay. And as a matter of fact, we're going to be contacting you as soon as they come in on Monday, and then we'll most likely even have a conference call interview with you.
No problem. I'll be happy and available to help. So let's move forward on how. So one of the things we got in terms of feedback is that when we uploaded those two videos, is that people said they are mortally afraid of videotaping policemen collecting bribes. In fact, many people said there are still policemen on manning roadblocks illegally, contrary to what the IG said, in different parts of Nigeria as we speak. How much, are you encouraging people to stand their ground? Can people, for example, even if they are found videotaping the police collecting bribe, can they stand their ground? Would they be safe such that, people will not be afraid of getting killed? Because one of your men told me the day from that tape that that they shoot people if they don't cooperate with them when they demand for bribe. And one of them particularly told me of someone who was shot and who was still in hospital because he refused to give bribe.
Yeah, but what you are saying now is not contained in the tape.
Well, I'm telling you because you said we are going to have an interview with them, and I would make this available during the interview. The version that we have out is what we can put out at that point that we release that to help you in the investigation. Now, we're glad that with the little we provided, you've been able to identify the officers involved. And as you have said, they've been arrested and they're being moved to Abuja on Monday. But again, the public needs reassurance that they can continue to help you fight corruption and bribery, that nothing will happen to them if somehow they are caught doing this, because you need the public to help you.
In specific to the two tapes we're talking about,
yes.
The first one happens to be the one from Ogun State,
yes.
Which, as I've mentioned, that the men involved, they are bringing them to Abuja on Monday. And the second one, which is the one in Lagos, as we speak, the traffic police officer in that tape has been identified, and as a matter of fact, he has gone through the orderly room proceeding, which was concluded yesterday, and he has been recommended for dismissal from the force. The recommendation has been passed to the Commissioner of Police in Lagos State, and hopefully by Monday or Tuesday, the Commissioner of Police in Lagos State will make his decision on the recommendation of dismissal known to Nigerians. And I would encourage Nigerians, I will encourage citizens to go ahead and capture unprofessional conduct of government officials. Not only the Nigerian police officers, of government officials should be captured, and we have provided a platform. That's www.stopthebribes.net.
Okay.
You upload it there, and when it gets to within some dates that we're supposed to give a feedback and we don't give feedback, you can still go ahead and request and know what the feedback is. You see, the issue of corruption is something that we must all cooperate and come together to fight and eradicate. As a matter of fact, even in the most advanced countries, we have rogue officers.
Absolutely.
Who despite the system that has been put in place, they still try to cut short. We've seen instances of officers in the most advanced world removing their body cameras when they want to arrest, just simply because they want to get to do some things which they shouldn't be doing. And I think the most important thing here is that what are the measures that has been put in place by the institutions, by the agencies, to ensure that such unprofessional conducts don't go unpunished. And I think to a large extent, the Nigerian police force should be given credit for being, I stand to be corrected, the only agency in Nigeria that don't spare its own when cases of corruption or reports of corrupt activities are made. We've heard so many cases in the past where we've even seen the video of people involved in corrupt activities, and up to today, nothing has happened to them. And I think the Nigerian police force should be given that credit, should be praised for being in the forefront of the fight against corruption.
Let me ask you a quick question, and I'll go to human rights. And my question is, you mentioned cameras, body cameras. In Nigerian police have plenty of vehicles. You guys don't even have what they call dashboard camera. Dashboard camera being the one that can, for example, from the vehicle, look at the activities of your police officers. Are you thinking about having some of recording devices installed in your vehicles so that, you know, the highway patrols, whatever they are doing, can be viewed from a dashboard camera, for example? Do you have plans for such?
As part of the strategic policing plans of IGP Solomon Arase, one of the core areas is engagement of cutting-edge technology and best practices to all levels of police functions in Nigeria. So engagement of cutting-edge technologies, yes, everything that we see police forces using across the world, we are going to bring them to Nigeria, and we're going to be using the same thing.
do you have a deadline in mind? How soon are we going to be seeing those?
You know, this is going to involve the Ministry of Police Affairs and Police Service Commission. So the discussion will be taking place at that level, and we're going to be updating members of the public as we progress.
So you just mentioned, and this just came to my mind, that the police does not spare its own. But last year, the Minister of Police Affairs, Jalili Adesina, was involved in rigging of election in Ekiti. He's one of you, and you guys never arrested him for that criminal behavior where he went into a police, he went with an army general and the Minister of Defense, then Deputy Minister of Defense, Obani Koro, and the rest of them, and they plotted and even bribed the army general, and the tape was made available, and you must have heard about it, but you spared him.
First of all, the Minister of Police Affairs is not a police officer.
But he's one of you. He's at the top of the police hierarchy. He's one of you. You can't say he's not a police officer. He oversees the affairs of the police.
When I mean one of us, I mean those that are recognized under the laws of the land to be called police officers. And as regards the case you are mentioning, I think the appropriate agency where the case should be reported is to INEC.
But INEC is not a law enforcement agency. INEC is aware of it. They can't do anything about it. The idea of the minister giving somebody a bribe is a criminal offense that the police ought to have handled. You are the police.
You see, there are two issues in this. Is either the case be reported to INEC or anybody that is aggrieved as regards the conduct of any elections. We have electoral tribunals, and they can present their cases at the electoral tribunals.
Again, electoral tribunals are not law enforcement agencies. If, for example, somebody kills someone during an election, that's murder, right? Would you refer the case to an election tribunal, or would you carry out an arrest and prosecution by the police?
These are two different issues.
Of course, they are not. Anyway, let's move on to human rights. I want to discuss that with you at another time. And that's one of the biggest areas where violation of human rights takes place in the police force. The arrest of violent criminals, armed robbers in particular. And I'm telling you this because I was arrested and kept with armed robbers before as a student activist in Lagos in 1998. And when I walked into the detention of SARS, there's a special anti-robbery squad in Ikeja, after having been to Area F, I think this is frozen.
No, I can hear you.
Okay, all right. So after having been to Area F, when I walked into the detention of SARS in Ikeja, I couldn't believe what I saw. Everybody in there, apart from myself and my colleague that was thrown in there, had been shot in the leg. And they told us that the moment they arrest, the next thing that happens is that they are shot, even after they have been completely arrested. And the detention detention center there was horrible. I experienced torture of armed robbery suspects. And I was kept there. I wasn't involved in armed robbery. It was
Sorry, what year was that?
This was 1998. But what I'm hearing is that the system has not improved. In fact, we received a petition from NOPRIM, a police watchdog in Nigeria, saying that in Anwuzu, or is it Anwuzu in Anambra State, the special anti-robbery squad people there have been killing whomever they want because they are above the law. What is the police doing, about this?
First of all, let me state that this is 2015, and a lot has happened since 1998 to 2015 as regards capacity building and involvement of different stakeholders in ensuring that rights are protected. We have the National Human Rights Commission. And let me just go specific to what IGP Arase plans to do. And as regards the issue of human rights capacity development, there's going to be partnership, which would include foreign agencies, which will include foreign embassies, which will include all stakeholders, both local and international NGOs, to support the identification of the training gaps in the Nigerian police force and provide appropriate intervention. So with the plans that has been put forward by IGP Arase, we expect that there is going to be improvement. And let me also state that there is no SAS, that special anti-robbery squad, that kills at will. And based on the fact that we don't have such reports or complaints from members of the public, because it is expected that these people you are alleging that the special anti-robbery squad kills at will, definitely they must have relatives, and I'm not aware of such large reports being made to the police.
Well, this report we are talking about was from NOPREM last week. NOPREM, you know NOPREM, and
yes,
they mentioned, and you have a copy of it because I saw your email address on the list that received the report. There was a particular case of somebody who had disappeared. So there's a lot of disappearances from the special anti-robbery squad. And I was giving you an example of 1998, but also I've given you an example of last week. You know, and if I ask you, would you allow independent investigations of SARS detention centers? For example, if we pick our camera today and say, let's go to SARS detention, would you let us in?
Why not? We have nothing to hide, and it's been happening. It's been happening. We have cell visitation, which is being carried out by local NGOs and human rights group. And if you want to do it, you are welcome.
So one of the questions we're getting is officers' welfare, and a lot of your officers actually are listening and watching and responding on Facebook, which is a good thing. This is very interactive, and they're saying that what is IGP Arase going to do about officers' welfare? They're complaining that part of the reason most of them don't work as hard as they should is that they don't have insurance protection, they don't have life insurance. If anything happens to them, their families are not protected in a way, and that they're not well remunerated. They don't get well paid, and some of them attribute this to the reason they collect bribe.
You see, first of all, let me state that there's no justification for any officer to be involved in bribe collection. There is no justification whatsoever. Having said that, it has also been identified that the motivation of the men, the welfare of the men, will go a long way in their output. And part of the agendas or part of the plans of IGP Arase includes robust welfare, not only for serving police officers, but also families that have been left behind by deceased officers. And part of this welfare includes issue of promotion. Just last week, the IGP was at the Police Service Commission where he complained about issue of stagnation on the rank. We have police officers who have spent up to 7, 8, 9, 10 years on the rank, and you are just expected to serve for 35 years. And if you are on a rank for 10 years out of the 35 years, I think it's not something too good to write home about. And efforts are being made to ensure that that is addressed. And as regards the issue of welfare, that is salary, discussions are going to be opened with relevant government agencies which are involved to ensure that officers get commensurate pay, get something that can actually take them home. Honestly, as a matter of fact, Nigerian police officers should have gone beyond the situation where one lining them up to give them chicken. You know, that shows the level of neglect. That shows the level of the level to which the issue of welfare has not been taken care of, because on a good day, chicken should not be something that should be appealing.
I was going to raise that isn't that bribery as well? Isn't that bribery for police officers to go and line up to collect chicken from a state governor? That's bribery, apparently.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Depends on the motive behind it. I don't think so. And considering the fact that it came during the yellow tide season, and I don't think so. But still, notwithstanding, that is not something we want to be seeing.
Well, that's a discussion for another day. Another issue here is the physique of our police officers. When I was growing up, police officers have the nicest haircut. They look fit and trim. Their clothes are well ironed. But today, it looks as if the majority of our police officers are a little bit obese and overweight, which means that some of them can't even run and catch a criminal, which don't used to be the case. Is there something being done to get the police back into fitness? You know, Arase himself looks a little bit fit for his age, but a lot of officers have a huge underbelly. They're obese. Is there something you're doing about that?
Everything that is needed to be done to ensure that we have well-fit officers are being done, and but considering the security situation, most officers are always involved in one security activities or the other, and at the appropriate time, all that will be looked into.
Yes. So, next and final question, CSP Abayomi Shogunle, is we have a new regime coming into place, and Nigeria has a huge security challenge. Boko Haram has not only driven Nigeria, taking over territories, it has driven the Nigerian police from one of its training colleges. The Nigerian police seems to be unable to secure various areas of Nigeria, driven away by Boko Haram, Islamic militants in northeastern part of the country. Is there anything the Nigerian police is doing to take back its own territory from Boko Haram, to go back to those areas where you used to have police stations in the northeast, to even go back to Goza where you have a training camp, and help in internal security where it seems that you haven't been able to cope in the northeast?
Once again, as we are all aware, the issue of security challenges in the northeast is it's beyond the Nigerian police force, and as at that time, there was what I could call a full outbreak of war, because it involves troops from even neighboring countries. And as we speak, the mobile training school you are talking about is completely now under the control of the Nigerian police force. And as regards of how the security challenges will be tackled by the incoming government, I think we should leave that to the incoming president, because he definitely have his plans.
Well, I want to thank you very much for coming on Sahara TV, and we hope to be back in touch with you again. I will be expecting your call on Monday. I'll be happy to participate in helping you with investigation, hoping that this is serious investigation and we are willing to do something about it. And we hope you'll come back again to Sahara TV and discuss more about your plans. And don't forget that we'll challenge you to everything you say here. And those who are listening and watching are also taking notes. Thank you once again for coming on our show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Well, viewers, it's been an interview with the spokesperson of the Nigerian Police, CSP Abayomi Shogunle. And I want to urge you to stay tuned for more programming on Sahara TV. Don't go away.